Coachella, the greatest music festival in the world, the most talked about music festival in the world. It has had over thousands of different performances over the years, and these are the top 10 performances that I've seen live over my 10 years of going to the festival. Now, before I get started, yes, these are my top 10 performances, so let me know yours in the comments below, because I know you guys are going to disagree with my list. Number 10 is going to be a combination of different artists, and I know that's a little bit cheating, but it's I couldn't decide on choosing one over the other. It's going to be a combination of artists that mean a lot to me. One is going to be Los Tucanes de Tijuana 2019, Los Angeles Azules 2018, and J Balvin 2019. Los Tucanes de Tijuana, I never thought in my life that I'll be singing corridos at Coachella. Like, it just still blows my mind. Like, El Centenario. Of course, La Chona Challenge. La Chona blew up on TikTok and in social medias. And Los Angeles Azules, the kings of cumbia, they're just legends. They have some of those popular songs. And then just watching them all over the last 2 years, it was just like fascinating. Never thought I was going to see cumbia at Coachella. And when Coachella first started, they were one of the first festivals to put rock, rap, EDM, and all genres of music together. And every year, Coachella has over 160 artists from all over the world. And those couple years and these artists really represented the people the music that I grew up listening to. So I felt like I needed to make this my number 10, a combination of them all. And also I want to throw in 2009, my very first Coachella. I went to see Molotov. So I'll shout them out as well, because I guess this is Mexican groups, Mexican bands, and Latino music. J Balvin last year. Whether you like reggaeton or not, like, reggaeton is one of the most popular music genres in the world right now. So shout out to all them. That's gonna be my number 10. I know it's a little bit cheating, but I felt like I needed to I didn't want to pick them to be in the top 10 individually, but I think all together they're gonna be my number 10. Now, this band was one of my favorite bands of all time. When they came out in 2015, I couldn't believe that they were actually coming to Coachella, coming to Indio, California. ACDC, one of the most legendary bands ever. And what's cool about Coachella is that you get these opportunities to watch artists that you're never going to see ever again. I never thought I was going to watch ACDC. I remember they went on tour my senior year in high school, or my junior year in high school. And of course, it was during the recession, 2008, 2009. So, of course, I couldn't afford to go to watch ACDC's tour. Then they came to Coachella 2015, and it's just one of my favorite performances. I remember people were buying the horns to sing along to a bunch of their music. I got to see Angus Young live, and so anyway, ACDC is going to be on this list just because it means so much to me, and watching them live singing along, and it was just some incredible. Them rocking now, one of the all-time rock legends, my favorite band of all time, performing at Coachella. You couldn't pass that one up. So I started hearing A$AP Rocky's Purple Swag, and Coachella 2012, it was just full of legends. I believe they played it on Saturday after Radiohead, and I'm not a big Radiohead fan. Like, I watched Radiohead for the first 30 minutes, then I went over to the Gobi. Crowd there was just insane. The energy, everybody was just raging. There was mosh pit. People were like, A$AP told girls to take off their shirts. I was just fascinating, and the entire summer of 2012, it was like my first year in college. That's all we listened to at kickbacks and parties was A$AP Rocky and Wiz Khalifa, like those artists that were coming up in those times. So I absolutely love A$AP Rocky, and I still have that memory. I just love it. Like, I don't even care if I missed the ending of Radiohead. Like I said, I wasn't even a big Radiohead fan, but A$AP Mob, definitely one of the most memorable performances I've ever witnessed at Coachella. One of the artists that definitely blends both EDM and rap together. It's one of the artists that I'm going to mention right here is Philosopher Tom. Now, Philosopher Tom in 2015 at the Outdoor Theater, one of the best sets I've ever witnessed. Like, his crowds are amazing. Again, they have the song Mosh Pit, which turned the entire Outdoor Theater into a giant mosh pit where everybody went crazy. Like, look at the footage right here. I just absolutely love. Why do you look?
I don't know why I turned to look because on the computer I was like, oh. Sometimes I forget you do things like in editing. Like, I know. Just go on. It's so annoying.
Definitely Philosopher Tom 2015, one of the best sets I've ever seen live. Just absolutely chaos and absolutely nothing but fun that day. In 2016, Calvin Harris came to headline Coachella. DJs, one of the first DJs to ever headline Coachella and the first DJ to ever close out Coachella. 2016, Calvin Harris put on a performance and over-delivered. A lot of people were skeptical, like, why is a DJ closing out the festival? Calvin Harris over-delivered. Like, he had a lot of special guests, including Sam Smith. He brought out Big Sean, and of course, he brought out the legend Rihanna. And this is the first time ever that Rihanna has performed at Coachella. She still hasn't came to Coachella, so hopefully Coachella 2021, Coachella 2022, Rihanna finally blessed us with a performance. But she got to perform. We found love, the most fun closing nights that I've seen at Coachella, because usually by Sunday night, no matter if it's Kendrick or Eminem or these rap artists, like sometimes we're all just exhausted. Like we don't want to, like 3 days, 36 hours of music by the time the Sunday headliner, like we literally have no more energy. But Calvin Harris really brought that energy and made us all dance throughout the entire night. So I absolutely love Calvin Harris 2016. Now let's get into one of the iconic ones, because she is a superstar. She is the biggest diva, the biggest superstar in the world. Beyonce, she has a documentary on Netflix all about her performance. So I don't have to tell you how amazing her performance was. I don't have to tell you, because you already seen the clips. You're seeing how #Baychella and how she kind of took over Coachella 2018. Originally, she was supposed to perform in Coachella 2017. She had to drop out because she was pregnant with twins. So we had to wait an entire year for her to come to Coachella. One of the most anticipated Coachellas of all time. It was one of the first times where we know an artist that's going to be performing at Coachella ahead of time, because usually we don't know who the artists are until January. Since she canceled 2017, she said she was going to come 2018, so the tickets sold out like that. I think that's the last time that Coachella sold out immediately. Like, people really wanted to see her performance. Brought an entire band on stage. Like, it was a huge moment. There was a feel in the air, like, oh, we're watching greatness, you know. Absolutely destroy that stage, just dancing and not losing her. Like, she was singing and dancing. I'm always a fan when there's a live band. I don't know what it is, like, it's just like hearing people actually play music and just all the backup dancers. Incredible. And I'm not even the biggest Beyonce fan. Like, I actually don't even listen to her music, and I don't really care. I know her songs because, again, she's super popular, but she comes into my feed, I'm gonna skip her song every time. So that's just my personal opinion, but I gotta give respect to one of the greatest performances that I've seen. I don't know if this is going to be recency bias, but Coachella 2019, I saw somebody on Saturday night, weekend 2. I went to both Coachella weekends in 2019, so I want to say weekend 2 because weekend 1 was amazing. Like, weekend 1 was amazing, but weekend 2, Saturday night, closing at the Sahara tent. Kid Cudi at the Sahara tent was just one of the best performances I've seen, because the energy on the crowd was just amazing. Kid Cudi having dealt with a lot of trauma and having to go to rehab, and him finding his voice again, getting out of depression, and having a collaboration with Kanye West over the summer, the previous summer, dropping a project together called Kids See Ghosts. And this album was 10 songs. It was liberating, feel the emotions from both of these artists working together, and it was good to see them work together. You know, I'm a huge Kanye fan, so this was amazing for me. And at Coachella weekend 2, they started off the set by playing songs from Kids See Ghosts, and Kanye came out with Kid Cudi as soon as the set started. So the energy at the Sahara tent, it was just like, oh man, everybody singing along, like doing Feel the Love. I started crying. On the right side of the Sahara stage, so I was really close to him, and it was just, man, it was so crazy, euphoric. The people around us, like, we met some people. I didn't get their contact information, but there was this dude like singing along next to me. Like, he was singing with his girl, his heart out. Incredible set. And again, Pursuit of Happiness at the end, he played the original version and then the Steve Aoki version, and they dropped the confetti. The entire crowd was singing. It was just one of the best moments at Coachella that I've ever seen. I don't know if it's recency bias, but Kid Cudi definitely makes this list. Like I said previously in this video, I'm not the biggest fan of EDM, and I didn't know a lot of the artists. Now, luckily, I have a friend who's a DJ. Shout out to Brian, and he's always recommended me some great EDM music. He's always been playing it at parties and stuff. So on Friday 2012, the Black Keys were actually the headliner. So the Black Keys played, but after them was going to be closing the night was Swedish house Mafia, who was entering their final tour. They had announced prior to Coachella that they were starting their final tour. They were going to split up as a group, and that was going to be the first performance of their final tour. So my friend told me, like, Swedish house Mafia, they're going to split up. Blown away. And that year, actually, I was alone at Coachella. Like, I wasn't with anybody. I went with the group, of course, in the beginning, but it was Friday. By Friday after the Black Keys, I was just by myself, just roaming the main stage, and I got with a group of people. Like, they invited me to the group, and we were all just dancing and partying, and just Swedish house Mafia. Like, I never seen a light show that amazing. It was just incredible light show. Their music, the entire crowd was singing. There was a little bit of a breeze. Like, it was started to, like, not rain, but sprinkle a little bit. And then when they did the laser show, and that was just such an amazing and epic way to start off a Coachella weekend 2012, which is probably one of the greatest Coachellas I've ever been to. This is the performance that always stands out to me, just like the way they just tore down that stage. So euphoric, and that's what I love about Coachella. Like I said, I was just with a random group of strangers, and when you go to a festival like Coachella or other music festivals, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are similar. You encounter people, like, you start hanging out with people, and everybody's super friendly, and you're having the best time. So don't ever feel like you're just gonna be alone. Like, people are there to have a good time, and if they see you alone, they're gonna invite you to your group to have fun. Like, it was just one of the best, like, sets I've ever seen. And Swedish house Mafia to this day is just something that I always think about. Like, that day, I really don't have any words to describe how I felt that day. It was just amazing. Back in 2011, I've known about this artist for a long time because, yes, his songs were on the radio all the time. He has a lot of hits. He had a lot of controversy. But I wasn't the biggest fan. Like I said, I wasn't the biggest fan of this person until I saw him perform live. And that's Kanye West. And 2011, me and my friend Debo, we looked at the lineup on 2011. It was on Sunday. Everybody on Sunday is going to be at the main stage. Like, everybody that we kind of recognize or anybody that we wanted to see is going to be performing at the main stage. Why don't we just stay there the whole day? So we came up with this dumb idea that to stay there the whole day. So we bought a couple water bottles. We put them in my backpack. I didn't have a camel pack at the time. So me and Derek, we camped out since 3 o'clock. We went at 3 o'clock to watch Wiz Khalifa. That's on Wiz Khalifa 2011. He had barely dropped Cushion Orange Juice. He was barely coming up. Like, he was a small artist. But so you got a slot at 3 o'clock, 3 p.m.
So much money can't fold up. Smoke good weed, yeah. Roll up, 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 roll up.
Hot as hell. So me and my friend Derek, we stayed at the front of the stage from Wiz Khalifa all the way to the end of the festival. So we were there for, I think it was either 9 or 10 hours. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but that was the most painful I've ever been. Like, standing there fighting for your life. Like, I was holding on to the barricade, and people were pushing and shoving. We got to see Damian Marley and Nas, Duran Duran, The Strokes, and then Kanye West to close out. So anyway, so we waited this entire time just to see Kanye front row. And like I said, I wasn't even a fan of this guy.
Up in the sky. I go for mine. I got the shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky.
I just knew that he was just a big superstar. Watching Kanye live, like, he had a 3-set act. First, he came off with this angelic Roman set piece that got revealed. Singing, Could we get much higher? What song is that? On a glider, this little, like, elevator thing, and then he was singing Dark Fantasy. Just, I actually have an entire Coachella 2011 highlight. I'll put the link in the description. It's my first Coachella video too. That I uploaded this in 2011, playing all his hits. Like, it was just hit after hit after hit. And And he had those ballerinas that were in the Runaway video. Universally known as one of the greatest Coachella performances of all time, whether you like hip hop or not, because I know a lot of people don't like hip hop. But Kanye, one of the greatest performances that performers that I've ever seen. Ever since that day, I've seen Kanye live 12 times ever since Coachella 2011 because I fell in love with that performance, and it's always going to be engraved in my mind. I love Kanye and I love his performances, and I know right now he's super religious. He's gone through a lot of controversy. I actually don't care what he does off stage. I don't care about all that stuff. I care about his performances, because if you've never seen a Kanye performance, whether it's Sunday service, whether it's one of his Yeezus tours or St. Pablo tour, like I got to see him at Made in America. I seen him at a festival in Arizona. I've seen this guy everywhere, even at a stupid iHeartRadio concert at the StubHub Center. I got to see him there. Kanye 2011 just changed my life. Like, I absolutely, my favorite artist of all time, and I got to see his greatness. Like, he's just such a great performer, and he does say he's the greatest performer since Michael Jackson, and I know he says a lot of crazy stuff, but he definitely is one of the greatest performers, and I wish he continues to make music, and I wish he continues to perform his classics. I know recently he said in an interview that he's only going to be performing his Sunday service because he's devoted to the Lord now, so we'll see. I probably won't ever get to see him again, but 2011 is just definitely life-changing for me. For me, 2011 is one of the best Coachellas ever. Like I said, I've only been to the last 10 Coachellas, so I didn't get to see the first 10 with Prince and Madonna and Daft Punk and Tool. I didn't get to see those Coachellas, unfortunately, so I'm just speaking with what I've seen. In 2011, this performance is not even Kanye's performance. It's something that happened on Saturday, the night before, at the main stage, and it was Arcade Fire. And Arcade Fire just put on an amazing show. We had seen earlier in the day that they put a big crate on top of the Coachella stage, and nobody knew what that was. There was a giant crate. It had like a black cover. Nobody knew what it was on top of the stage. We all saw it, and everyone expected something to happen, but we didn't know what it was. So by the end of the night, we were all tired. We kind of forgot about it. Like, the crate's there. They played the song Wake Up. Crate kind of opened up, and then they dropped a ton, hundreds or dozens, I don't know how many balloons. They just dropped a bunch of balloons. People were just like super happy because the chorus of the song was happening. We were just singing along. The balloons started dropping, and we were just... hitting them back. Like, they started glowing, some of them, like when you hit it, started glowing, and it was just incredible. Like, they finished the entire song, then they took that break, the break where we start encore one more, we wait for them to come back. I forgot what the song was that they played right after, but as soon as they started playing, the balloons lit up in sync with the music. Like, they were just changing colors in sync with the music. It was just so cool. Like, I've never seen something like this at Coachella. I've never seen nothing like this. We were just singing, like, if you see on my Coachella 2011 video, I interviewed some dude after, like, hey, what do you think of that performance? And he says,
your favorite part of this whole festival so far? This, most definitely. This fucking topped everything.
That's the greatest performance he's ever seen. Like, I don't even know who this dude was in this video, but it was just the best performance I've ever seen. Arcade Fire came back to Coachella, I think it was in 2014 to headline. So 3 years later, they came back to headline at Coachella, and their performance was nowhere near as good as the one in 2011, because that moment just can't be topped off as one of the greatest performances I've ever seen at Coachella. Just, man, I wish I could have got one of those balloons. I know people were keeping them as souvenirs. We couldn't grab them because it was just so much fun, and like, by the time you realize we probably should have grabbed one, we didn't get one, so kind of dropped the bag on that one.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Duh.
And now for the last performance, the greatest performance that I've ever seen at Coachella. I think it has to go down as the greatest performance of all time at Coachella. I know that Daft Punk is legendary and they just revolutionized EDM and everything in 2006. But I think this performance in 2012 has to go down as the greatest performance of all time. And let me tell you why. So 2012, the headliners on Sunday were Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. I think of 49 minutes or 50 minutes of straight bangers. Like, there was no filler songs. It was hit after hit after hit. Dr. Dre playing some of his classics from The Chronic. But what made this performance amazing, they did a tribute to Nate Dogg. They brought upcoming artist Wiz Khalifa as a guest performance to sing Young, Wild, and Free with Snoop Dogg.
How many people in the house tonight living young, wild, and free? Well, if you live in young, wild, and free, keep clapping your hands to the beat. Supposed to be living young and wild and free.
They brought in Kendrick Lamar, a young up-and-coming artist, to sing The Recipe with Dr. Dre.
I control California living till I am old. She want to be on the peak on the charts. Be on the hearts. She in the coupe, she in the neon, and she on the beat. Yeah. Kendrick motherfucking Lamar, man.
Then they had 50 Cent come out, G-Unit. They brought out 50 Cent to sing along like some of his hits. So you had Wiz Khalifa, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent as guest performances. Then they brought out Eminem, like the greatest rapper of all time. Eminem is the GOAT. So they brought out Eminem, 50 Cent, Wiz Khalifa, Kendrick Lamar just as guest performances to go with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's classics. That lineup alone is one of the greatest sets ever. But what they did after that was something that took the internet by storm, something that helped elevate Coachella's brand, started trending all over the world on Twitter, on social media. People talked about this and they still talk about it to this day. Project that cost them $10 million to produce. Dr. Dre said it cost him $10 million to put this stunt together. So after Dr. Dre started playing California Love, he did his verse from California Love. After that happened, Out of the Ground started rising, and it was Tupac, like a hologram Tupac that cost him $10 million to produce, and it looks so realistic. And I swear, for the first like 3 minutes when we're watching all this happen, like people weren't even cheering. Like people around us, we were just like, what's going on? Like it felt so surreal. Like I'm getting chills just like remembering this. Like I remember we couldn't believe it. Like we couldn't even believe what we were seeing. Like it looked so realistic. It was just so mesmerizing. And then when he's like, what the fuck is up, Coachella?
I'm chillin'. What's up, Pop? What up, Snoop? What's up, my nigga? What the fuck is up, Coachella?
Everybody, like, as soon as he said that, everybody clicked. We all kind of like, okay. And then he started playing Hail Mary. And then he played that song. Then he started rapping with Dre and Snoop Dogg. Like, they had to, like, practice rapping with the hologram. Just think about the logistics on that. One of the greatest performances, one of the greatest sets that I've ever seen in Coachella's history. And I think it is the greatest performance in Coachella's history. Not only did it have Wiz Khalifa, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, 50 Cent, and hologram Tupac. Nothing's ever going to top that, in my personal opinion. So there you have it. Those are the 10 greatest performances that I've seen in my last 10 years going to the festival. And I didn't watch every single one of the performances because there's over 160 artists at every single Coachella. So if I miss somebody, let me know in the comments, because I know I missed a lot of great performances over the years. I have over 90 videos on this channel all about Coachella, so you guys want to get your fix and some stuff I've had over the years. And thank you guys for watching. Like, I really appreciate the support from you guys. Hopefully see you guys at Coachella 2020, because that's still in flux. We don't know what's going to happen. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you at Coachella.